Okay, students, today we are going to do a revision and editing assignment using the first day character analysis rough draft paragraph that we have created earlier last week and then have conferenced over this week. First thing I'd like you to do is to write your name up here. So I'm going to write my name. Now I'd like us to just read over the directions for this assignment. I've written a paragraph and we're going to use it as our example, which is why it's called example. So number one, look for repeated words or ideas. Okay, so one of the editing marks that you might use today is the repeated words or ideas. So that means repeated words. So write these editing notes right up at the top, repeated words. Okay, number two, look for smooth introductions to embedded textual evidence with parenthetical documentation. So if it's not smooth, if there's a jump, if something needs to be added, sometimes this means there's a jump there. And this means to insert, a little V above the line means to insert something within the writing, okay? So those are two more editing marks. Mark revisions within the sample chunks. So this is one chunk that we're going to revise today, and then to rewrite the chunk, and you can see at the bottom there's a space to do that. Another editing mark I'd like to bring up is also that of the deletion. So like you can do this, and then so that means to delete something. And then I think there might be one more, check wording. Sometimes check W means to check the wording of something because it seems odd. So we are going to go through these steps right now. So I'm going to first of all ask you to read the paragraph, or actually this is a chunk. So it starts off with the topic sentence, and this is the first chunk only. And that's all I'm going to do as an example. I'm not going to do the whole paragraph example because I think you can get the idea of what I need you to look for in your own writing by just looking at this example chunk right here. So the topic sentence. The mother in the story The First Day is an example of a complex human being with antithetical traits, which is your first sentence in your paragraph as well. The opinion is that the mom is complex, and we're about to prove that in both of our chunks. In this chunk, let's see how well we do. My mother has characteristically spent nearly an hour on my hair that morning, plaiting and replaiting so that now my scalp tingles. We're going to just do this sentence at a time, okay? So the first thing that's really, really wrong, and I'm going to switch to a red pen now. You don't have to, but you might want to. I'm going to mark some things that are really missing here. First of all, there's a huge jump right here. And the jump is that it needs context. It needs the context of what's going on in the story and an introduction to the text. Okay, so we need to insert that right there. So how do we do that? We will need to add what's going on, so I'll show you how to do that when we rewrite it below, and we also need to introduce the text so that it flows right into the text. The other thing that was wrong with this is that this is actually should be uncharacteristically spent, not characteristically, so it should be uncharacteristically spent nearly an hour in my hair that morning, plaiting and replaiting so that now my scalp tingles. Now, I know you know this, but what's missing here is the documentation. So I'm going to just write documentation needed right there. Okay, and it's actually kind of right there. And so we'll add that when we write it down below. The mother is determined. Now that's a good sentence. It's very short, but there's my trait word. And now I need to talk about why. So let's look at the next sentence. The mother is determined because she wants what is best for your daughter. Okay, the mother is determined. The mother is determined. I've heard that twice. I don't really want to hear that twice. And so this is all repeated words, okay, because she wants what is best for her daughter, not your daughter, her daughter. Now, let's look at the next sentence. She wants what is best for her daughter. Now, you may be thinking I'm ridiculous for writing it this way, but this is often what I read in paragraphs. They just keep repeating the same words when they could have combined sentences or started it a different way or rewritten the sentence altogether differently. So, the mother is determined. We're going to get rid of that eventually because she wants what is best for her daughter. She wants what is best for her daughter because she understands what it's like to be judged. And so, I also think I need to connect what judged has to do with determined. So I need to add another CM here, which really kind of connects, like, why is the mom so worried about being judged? What does that even have to do with being determined? Why does that make her even more determined?